Hi, my name is Paige. Welcome to my June TBR. If you have not seen any of my TBR jar videos before, I will link a playlist for you right here. But essentially, I roll a dice, see how many books I'm going to be reading in the month, and pull that many prompts from my TBR jar. This month is June, which is the best month because it is my birthday month. My birthday is June 30th, so I am just really excited to get into this one. First off, we have to start off by updating my board game, which I skipped last month because I was running out of time. So in April, I did not complete my moon card for that month, and I totally forgot about it. I think I actually lost that moon card, so I do need to roll a dice first to see what my punishment is on my game board. I did have to move back 10 spaces, but in April, I was able to read 4 books that were on my TBR jar, and I read 6 additional books that were not on my TBRs. So that means I get to move 7 additional spaces for my board game. If you're not sure on these board game rules, I have it in past videos. I always stumble over explaining it, so I'll let past me explain it to you better. And then in May, I did the exact same thing. I finished 4 TBR prompts and 6 non-TBR prompts, so I'm going to move another 7 spaces forward. So my punishment didn't set me back too bad, but it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. I also have so many books still on my physical TBR. I'm not ready for a book buying spree. So the further we can stay away from the ending for a little bit until maybe I get halfway through this is the better. It's better for me, it's better for my wallet, I know, even though I have the urge to go on a book buying spree so badly. I want to buy so many books right now, but I'm holding off. Okay, but you are here to see what books I am reading in June, so let's go ahead and roll my dice to see what I get. So for my D8, I rolled a 2, which means that I have to roll a D4 because I can't have less than 4 books in my TBR. That just seems a little bit silly. So I rolled that D4. And I got a 4, so I have to read 6 books, which is fine. It's 1 less than I've been rolling the past couple of months. So 6 books on my TBR, I can handle that. Let's go with my first prompt. And we are doing an illustrated cover, so I knew exactly what I was going to pick. My hold for Libby is going to be available soon for Happy Place. So it's the next Emily Henry that's coming out, but I refuse to buy the hardcover. I will wait to get the physical copy until it is paperback, but I will be reading this. I'm so excited. I think it's a second chance romance. It might be a little bit friends to lovers, which those 2 tropes are my absolute favorite in romance. I've heard that it pulls at your heartstrings. I'm just so excited for this one, and the cover is just so much fun. It looks very beachy and summery, even though I know the content is probably just gonna like tear my soul out, but that's okay. I'm so excited for this one. Okay, then we got most recent purchase, which I think you are all gonna be surprised that I'm going to pick this. Last month I read Way of Kings, and I was so obsessed that I almost started reading the next book in the series, which is Words of Radiance. So again, this is just one book that's just split into 2 for printing purposes. I'm not entirely sure why this one's split, but I wanted to drop everything. I wanted to drop everything now and read this book. So we are going to go ahead and read this. I already have the loan on Libby, and I need to dive in soon because I don't think I have 6 full days to read this book because I have a job now. I got a job, you guys. I got a job. So if you didn't know, I have been substitute teaching because I had a temporary position that I tried to make permanent, but they weren't able to hire me. And that temporary position, they reached out to me and told me that they had a full-time position for me to go to. So I start on Tuesday in a couple of days from now, and I'm just super duper excited. But that means I won't have a lot of time to be reading 1,000-page books. So I need to chunk this out over the next couple of weeks and read like 100 pages a day. Before my loan runs out and I have to spend 6 days reading all day long like I did in this video right here of Way of Kings. So check that video out. I had so much fun reading this, but only check that video out if you want spoilers and have already read Way of Kings. Okay, next prompt. It's like the cards knew that it was my birthday month and wants to take it easy on me. So when I was a teacher, I had bought hundreds of books for my classroom library. And when I stopped being a teacher, I kind of whittled it down to only a couple hundred. So I have a whole shelf of picture books that I'm keeping for, you know, I can read them on my own too. But if I do ever have kids someday, I can just have those books here because I picked pretty decent quality books. And one that I bought towards the end of my teaching career and never actually got to read is Solway by Lupita Nyong'o, and I've heard so many good things about this book. I don't know why I haven't just like sat down and read it on my own, but it's been on my teacher shelf for so long and I don't know why I haven't picked it up. There's a couple others that I've always wanted to read and I'll see people talk about them and just, I don't know why I don't walk the 100 feet over to my bookshelf in my living room and grab those books, but now I am doing it and I'm so excited. I love this cover. I wish I could have read it to my students because I heard that it was super duper good. And the illustrations look beautiful and her picture on the back is so beautiful too. Oh my gosh. So I knew immediately that this was the one that I was going to get. I just walked over, yoinked it off my shelf. So this is our picture book that we get to read next month. Maybe I'll throw in a couple of others too, just because this one's a little tiny one, but you know, I'm also reading a 1,000-page book. So maybe I should just take it easy. What's my next prompt? Pure smut, baby. I'm so excited for this one, and I knew that I had to pull out my Kindle, and I decided to go with one that's been on my radar. Not one that like I desperately want to read, but I heard somebody talk about it once, and it is, if you can see the cover, Baby and the Late Night Howlers by Catherine Moon. I believe it's a reverse harem werewolf sort of deal with alpha, beta, and omega dynamics. We love that. It brings like the fan fiction and romance elements together. So I have not much else to say about this one besides it's just gonna be a fun spicy time. Also, I added Dutch Bros stickers to my Kindle and I think it looks so fun. All right, let's look at my next prompt. High fantasy. So I could continue on with the Stormlight Archive, but there is another Brandon Sanderson series that I've been working on and I need to read The Lost Metal. So my loan on Libby is also available for this one too. I swear it had like 8 or 9 weeks left and I thought, okay, mid-July I can read it, but nope, it showed up real quick. So I have to read that one as well. I do not own the physical copy because the white UK covers that I like to get, they only have it in the bigger version and I'm waiting for it to be the smaller version so all my spines align. So I will just listen to that on audiobook. I might buy the ebook so I can read along, just because I feel like I do better reading along to Brandon Sanderson books while listening, but we will see about that one. I don't know. I'm also just really excited to continue on and finish out the Mistborn era too. I just want to know how that ends. I want to see how everything wraps up with that one before he goes on to Mistborn era 3, I think, in the next couple of years. But it had to be a Brandon Sanderson. I have so many Brandon Sandersons I gotta get off these shelves. I gotta get through some of those big books. But let's see what my next prompt is. New adult. This one ended up confusing me, so I did have to go through Goodreads and I clicked on a couple of books that I thought would be new adult, and I really just relied on people's shelves for this one. And one that I saw was How to Fake It in Hollywood by Ava Wilder. I think I got this in a little free library sometime last year, and it just seems like this is about a PR relationship in Hollywood to like up their notability or something, and then the fake dating might end up being a little bit real. And this was like one of two options, and this one has an audiobook option on Libby, so I might as well do the one that has the audiobook because it'll help me read it a little bit faster. We know I love doing that. So I am excited to read this one, especially because it seems like a summery romance, which is always so fun. So is that all? I think those are all of my TBR prompts, but I have a couple of other books to tell you about. For my book club, which is the Story Continue book club I host with my friend Serena at Read the Right, we are reading Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, and this is an Legends of Arthur retelling, or like they're the descendants of the characters from the Legends of Arthur. I don't really know. All I know is that everyone who has read this has loved it so much they don't stop gushing about how good this book is. So when the book club voted on books that they wanted to read, I decided to save this one for June because it's my birth month and I wanted to read something that a lot of people wanted to read during this month so that we can all talk about it. And if you would like to read this with us or reread it if you've already read it, I have the link to Discord always linked in my description. You can go ahead and join us, become a book club bun, and it's very laid back. You don't have to talk about the book, you don't have to finish it, you can DNF it at any point, but we just always open a little forum page and just chat about our thoughts and feelings. It's very laid back, low-key. I love it over there. So if you want to read this with us, go ahead and join us. I'm super excited, and I love this cover because blue is my favorite color. Then for my 12 and 12 challenge, I am going with more of a modern classic this month with The Handmaid's Tale. So I think this is the book that has been on my TBR the absolute longest. So I'm finally getting it off of my TBR shelves. It's actually been on a separate shelves with some other classics that's been sitting there for a while. And I've watched most of the TV series. I don't think I saw the final series or final season at all, but I've watched everything else up to that point, and I am excited. There's a bookmark in here. Apparently I got this in Denver. I don't remember getting this in Denver. But I've had this for a very long time, and I'm super excited to read this one, finally. Even though I know the content of it sucks, and it's too eerily close to things that are happening today. But I have one more book to talk about, and that is for the Buzzword Readathon. The word of the month is other. And the only book I have with the word other is The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow, which I believe is based on Mary Bennett from Pride and Prejudice. And I've been wanting to read it. I've been trying to like sneakily get this into our book club, but nobody's been wanting to read it at all. But she's big. She's a big one. She's a big one. And so I am not entirely eager to read 500 pages of Pride and Prejudice, but I'm going to because that's the only other option, and I'm still trying to be so good and only read books from my shelves. So I also have the audiobook available on something. It might be Scribd, maybe it's Hoopla, it might be Hoopla, and that will make it a lot easier for me. But yeah, I am excited to read it, but like not really. So this might be at the like lowest priority, but I've been so good getting all of those buzzwords every month that I feel like I just need to be a completionist and read this one. But I could also find something on Kindle Unlimited, you know? I mean, looking at this overall, it doesn't seem like that bad of a TBR. It's a little bit big, but I've done this before. And the good thing about the new job is that it's one that I don't have to take any work home or anything. So I can come home and spend my nights reading. And I think that's perfect. So those are all of the books that are going to be on my TBR for June. If you want to read any along with me, let me know. You can message me on Instagram if you want to buddy read any of these. It would be so much fun. I want to talk to everybody about books all month long because it is my birth month, like I've said 400 times. And it just makes it extra special, you know? So my Instagram is linked in the description. Discord is linked in the description. What else do I have to tell you? I don't know. If you want to watch a video where I cried my eyes out for so long, you can watch this video right here. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I will see you in my next one, which should be up very, very shortly. All right, thank you so much for watching.